Hi, this is Dr. Stephen with Outclick Magazine. We've had the honor and privilege of talking to many accomplished leaders and musicians on our show, and today is no exception. Today we welcome Gerard Schwarz, the music director of the Palm Beach Symphony. He began his professional career as the co-principal trumpet of the famous New York Philharmonic. He has an honorary doctorate from the Juilliard School of Music. He also has 6 Emmy Awards, 14 Grammy nominations, and 8 ASCAP Awards. He also has collaborated on over 350 albums. Before we bring him onto the program, we are going to show you a video about the symphony and some of the things that they have been doing. Arthur, if you could go ahead and play the video for us, that would be great.
Has been a tough year. Many things have been taken from us. The pleasure of holding a loved one, our jobs, our family trips, and for some of us, our family and friends. We've experienced unprecedented events that have affected all of us. Here at the Symphony, we're working hard to spread knowledge and hope because that's what we need the most right now. Hope for our community, our children, and our future.
Yeah, that is one. If you see it, it's actually feel.
After 3 semesters there.
Yes, all right. This is my dream. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
My name is Valentina Paolucci, and because of the support from the Palm Beach Symphony, I was able to perform as a soloist with the orchestra under the baton of world-renowned conductor Gerard Schwarz. The Palm Beach Symphony supports the community, teachers, students, and people like me in doing what we love to do. So I am asking you to please help the Palm Beach Symphony support our community and donate today.
Thank you. We are so excited to talk to Gerard Schwarz, the music director of the Palm Beach Symphony. Gerard, welcome to today's program.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to be with you.
Thank you. I was reading your bio and long list of awards and acclimates. I would read it, but I think we'd be here for a couple of days. You've gotten to do so many fascinating things and wonderful things. But I want to talk about the symphony. Tell us about the Palm Beach Symphony. You've got educational programs, donor programs, and everything. But tell us a little bit about the history of the symphony and kind of where you're at today.
Well, the symphony is in its 47th season, and as far as I'm concerned, it's really the premier professional orchestra in South Florida. It does extraordinary work educationally throughout the community and in every way. And then, of course, we give concerts, mostly at the Kravis Center, at the Four Arts, and other places. And we're very honored to be able to hold the mantle of great art and great music for this remarkable community. The orchestra's grown in terms of its concerts it's done, but especially artistically. And what's happened now artistically is quite remarkable, and it's one of the great orchestras around, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. Last year was my first year as music director. Unfortunately, as we all know, it was cut short, and so we began again in December. This past December, we did a holiday concert for Channel 12 CBS. We did an educational program. Our holiday concert was so successful that they showed it 6 times. And it's hard to say that classical music gets high ratings, but it did remarkably. And they did a fabulous job for us. And now our regular season at the Kravis Center begins in January, and we have concerts January, February, March, April, and with some great soloists and great programs. Of course, because of the pandemic, we've had to adjust things. We can't have a huge orchestra. We can't have a large audience. There are all kinds of issues. But we can play great music and we can stream it. And with a small group of the audience, we have to separate, we have to wear masks, we have to do all the protocols to keep everyone safe. But the idea that we can come together and make music for a wonderful audience, whether it be online or even the small audience live, it is quite a thrill for all of us, because it's what we care about. We think that classical music can influence people in positive ways and can be very helpful, especially during traumatic times that we've been suffering with for the last 9 or 10 months. So we feel like we have a mission and that we're accomplishing that mission in many ways. We have a program next week of all Beethoven, and part of the celebration of Beethoven's 250th birthday, and including the 7th Symphony, and my dear friend Pinchas Zuckerman, one of the great violinists in the world, playing the Beethoven Violin Concerto with us.
That one is coming up. I have in my notes January 24th, 2021. That will be, I have in my notes, live streamed from the Kravis Center for the Performing Arts. Is that correct? Absolutely
correct. 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
And for me, of course, it's always special to work with Pinky. Pinky and I went to high school together. I mean,
wow.
It's bizarre to think, because I was born in New Jersey and he was born in, I think, Tel Aviv.
Okay.
Imagine that we went to high school together. But we went to Performing Arts, which was a wonderful high school, a public high school in New York. And I remember him as a 13, 14-year-old, and being very critical of my playing, but actually being correct. And so we have a long history of doing many, many concerts together and collaborating in many ways together. For me, he's among the greatest living violinists, and Beethoven is, in a way, Beethoven, Brahms, that kind of Germanic repertoire is really his specialty. And so I'm very excited to be with him, my dear friend, and to present it to this great community.
Interesting. I'm going to have Arthur pull up the website. We'll get it side by side so people can see where the website is. I've got that link on there. What's it been like? And we've talked to, so one of the things is when COVID started in March, I realized the vacuum that it created personally when the music stopped, when I couldn't go to concerts, I couldn't go to the symphony, I couldn't go. It was just such a darkness. And then all of a sudden, these wonderful online programs came about and getting to experience it. We've talked to so many people who said not having that audience experience from the player standpoint has been a challenge. What's it been like for you all not getting to perform in front of an audience for so long and having to jump that hurdle of trying to produce things online?
Well, we love doing concerts online. We love making recordings. We love having CDs. We love being on YouTube and all of that. But there's something very special for all of us playing or live in front of an audience. That's what we're made for. That's what we've been taught to do all our lives. That's when we can have the greatest impact. As wonderful as the live streams are, and thank goodness we have them, playing for an audience is so special. And it's so rare these days. Here we were from March on, no more playing for an audience. Not only that, for quite a few months, no longer playing together. So you couldn't even come together. We didn't have the protocols in place. We didn't understand the virus. Not to say we completely understand it today, but at least we are making it safe to play concerts together. We're making it safe to play concerts for a small audience. And thank goodness we have live streams so that one can listen and look and see and be part of great music, even if it's in a different way. For me, as you mentioned, I've made a lot of recordings, and I love making recordings. I love making music for posterity. I love the idea that all of our concerts, in a sense, live forever now because they have been recorded, and the musicians are very wonderful about it. It used to be a time when musicians was, you can't record all of the. Now they understand the value of reaching people as any way we possibly can. I remember in my days, I was music director of the Mozart Festival in New York for 20 years. And we used to do live from Lincoln Center programs every summer. And I got so many letters from older people who were in nursing homes or hospitals saying how grateful they were to be able to have music, even though they couldn't and weren't able to get to a concert hall anymore. They could actually listen, and how meaningful it was. So, we try to reach people any way we can, and hopefully uh, as you suggested, it fills a vacuum, and we all feel that vacuum. We feel a tremendous vacuum, especially in being able to be with friends, to even be with family in some cases. Those of us that had the virus, as I did back in March, feel a little safer. But boy, it's been very, very difficult. We're lucky here in South Florida now because the vaccine the inoculations are growing tremendously. And if you're over 65, most people have gotten it if they want it by now. And so we're quite, other communities aren't quite as lucky as we are. So we have to keep fighting to get that vaccine and to convince people that it's safe and to take it. And hopefully crack this horrible disease that is killing so many extraordinary people.
Mm-hmm. I think you touched on what I was taught by a mentor of mine to look for the silver lining in even the worst of times. And a couple for me have been, it's forced me to look deeper into virtual recordings, either past or present of things. I've found organ concerts online, and I really have taken a deeper dive into some really wonderful music online that I maybe would not have before. The other are some performing groups that have started to record that didn't before and capture these events for people to look now and in the future, and to really capture those events that maybe have been lost forever. And people, in the future will be able to look back and see, what our group's done, what our performances were, and to capture the quality music that is out there. So there's been a few silver linings that have become of such a challenging year. You've got the concert on January 24th. You've got a couple others coming up. That's fascinating. You all went to school together. You've got one coming up March 21st, 2021. If you want to give us a little information on that.
Sure. And first of all, I agree with you about the silver lining. The silver lining aspect has been quite extraordinary. And the fact that we've all done it. I've done it. I got an email from a friend who watched a video of Leonard Bernstein conducting the New York Philharmonic and the Tchaikovsky Fourth in 1976, and I was playing the first trumpet. And so he said, "Gee, I heard you with Bernstein doing Tchaikovsky." You get these kind of remarkable events. I heard from a great composer just this last week, Aaron Kernis, who wrote a beautiful work for orchestra celebrating the life of so many heroes that we've lost, and offering that work for me to perform, which hopefully I'll do. In March, the program is with my close friend Volodya Feltsman. Feltsman, great pianist, he's playing some Mozart with us. I met him the day he arrived, next day after he arrived from Russia. He was a big star in the Soviet Union. He asked to emigrate to Israel, and then his career was over. And so he did nothing for years. Then he came to New York and has a tremendous career. One of the great pianists, a great humanitarian, and a great teacher. So that program should be we're also doing a piece by George Walker. George Walker was one of the most important African-American composers, lived in Montclair, New Jersey. He wrote a beautiful lyric for strings. We're doing that, and some Stravinsky and some music of another American, David Diamond. So we're thrilled to have Volodya with us. I mean, that's very exciting. And then the following month, we have Maxo Taradze, another great, he's from Georgia, and he came. He, I think, was one of the winners of the Van Cliburn competition, and he defected. It was a really complicated, an incredibly interesting story. But another great pianist playing the Ravel Concerto, and the third one that I wanted to mention was I'm doing a concert with my son Julian. My son Julian is one of the great cellists in the world today, and he's doing the Sanson Concerto with me. And so we don't get a chance to play together very often. So for me to do a concert with my son, what could be more exciting for a father than to play a concert with his son? So I'm really excited for that April concert, as well as all of the others.
So that one is, so we do this both audio on podcast, so people who are listening on the podcast, that one is April Monday, April 19th, 2021. It may be, we were talking to the PR team, it may be in person, but it will at least be live streamed from the Kravis Center as well. Arthur's got the website, palmbeachsymphony.org, April 19th. I'll scroll down. We'll grab the date from the previous one so people know when that one will be. Arthur will scroll down. I have in my notes March 21st, 2021. With that one. So, but as you said, the online has created such an experience. I was talking to Brett Carlin, who's the director of Master Chorale of South Florida, and they, because it's a choir, everyone is so tight, they didn't have a way to distance, and they moved to online. And Brett was saying, he said their online Christmas and their fall concerts, he said they had people from like 45 some odd states and like countries from all over the world that joined the virtual concert for them for Master Chorale. And then not only did they get so many more buy-in, their music went out all around the globe in a way that just really expanded, in a way that like Brett never dreamed, would expand that way.
As you know, I'm the distinguished professor of conducting and orchestras at the Frost School of Music at the University of Miami.
That was my next talking point. Yes, exactly. Yes.
And our first concert this year, which was done with an audience of 78 people, in Boston, which holds quite a few hundred. Mm-hmm. We had over 2,300 people tuned in to our concert streaming. If we didn't do the streaming, we would have maximum gotten, maybe if the house was full, maybe it was 800, I don't know. But you think about having all of those people and how extraordinary it is and how lucky we are to be playing for them. It opens up so many opportunities for all of us. And so I think going back to your silver lining, it is so true. And we're so lucky. And of course, the other concert that I didn't mention was Olga Cairn, another great pianist, playing with us at Four Arts. And that concert's, I think that concert's in March. Anyway, it's just we are very, very lucky to be here in South Florida, where there is so much wonderful activity, so much extraordinary activity by this great orchestra. So I feel very honored to be part of that and to be part of the Frost School, which is, as you know, one of the great schools of music. It's just been an extraordinary experience for me, having never thought I would move to Florida, being I was in New York for many years and I was in Seattle for many years. And I really feel at home here now. And it's really exciting for me and my wife and our family.
I tell people they can be during non-COVID conditions, they can be out every night a week. There is something to do. Our symphonies, the Broadway Across America, the Broward Center, the Kravis Center, the Art Center. When the Bright Line is running, it's an easy trip between the three counties. Slow Burn Theater. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of how much culture there is in our three counties. And if you add Key West to that, there is no shortage of things to do in the arts and entertainment here. And it's such quality. And I can say wholeheartedly, the people that we work with are such great people to work with. That's my favorite part of the job, is really the people that we get to work with. They're all amazing, hardworking, and as talented as everyone are, they're fun people to work with. And that's really my favorite part of what we get to do. So the concert with Olga, Arthur, if you'll pull that up, I believe I had that as February 3rd. February 3rd, 2021. We'll pull that one up as well. Gerard, we've covered a lot. I said you're at the Frost School of Music. Is there anything else you wanted to cover or people to know about your upcoming concerts or about the symphony itself?
Just that we're so honored to be able to play. We're so honored to be able to play here. We care so deeply, and we hope that everybody tunes in, whether you can come live or not. At least, if you can tune into the live stream, it's exciting. You get to see the inner workings of an orchestra. You're talking again, the silver lining. You're not sitting in the back watching me from behind all the time. You can see the orchestra and see me from the front, see the oboes or the flutes or the violins. I mean, it's just, I just feel like we're so blessed to have found a way. So many institutions around our country have just canceled everything. They say, okay, we're shutting down this year. We're not doing any, to do something is much harder than to do nothing. To do nothing is easy. You say, okay, the Palm Beach Symphony is not going to exist this year. The New York Philharmonic doesn't play concerts. The Boston, I don't know, other orchestras not playing concerts. So why should we play concerts? Well, because we care about our community. We care about our musicians. We care about our educational work. And so we have fought very hard to make it possible to do that. I'm so grateful to our staff and to our board, and of course to the musicians, for working so hard to make it safe and possible for us to play together, where so many other communities have just canceled everything. And we haven't, as you know. We're a special community. I mean, choruses are different. You know, the aerosols and it's very, very tricky. But, you know, if you work at it, as we have, you can make things happen with orchestras. And so I'm very, very proud of the extraordinary staff we have and the leadership of David Kleinmont, who's our president, who's just been executive director. It's incredible. So I can't wait. I can't wait for next week when an old Beethoven program, Beethoven's Seventh Symphony. Wow, what a thrill!
Beethoven. We heard Beethoven's Ninth a couple of years ago. We heard it twice. It was what a treat and honor that was. But also, we've been in communication with the arts groups, and they had the usual work of the music, the performances, the preparation. Then they had the added layer of COVID and spacing. Then they had the third added layer of the technology and the recording. So this year has been triple the work of all of the groups. And so I want everyone to realize our arts partners have worked 3 times as hard this year to produce what they normally produce. And it's the quality has been amazing, but it really has taken so much work on everyone's part to produce even more so, and to do all that they've done. And so we really appreciate the symphony and all of the groups that have had to retool everything and do it on some of them on more limited budgets and limited staff because of the challenges of this year.
But we're also so grateful to you for doing this, making our presence known. I can't thank you enough, because you care about your community. You care about the arts in your community. And you reach such a huge, important audience, and we're very grateful to you for doing what you're doing, Dr. Steve.
Thank you. Well, it's a lot of fun to do, and I'm glad to work with such great organizations. So if you have any other comments, we'll entertain those, or we'll have Arthur put up the website for you. PalmBeachSymphony.org is your website. And then we'll put up your social media. We've got Facebook.com/PB Symphony and the Instagram and YouTube. And
we're everywhere.
We're everywhere, and I always end with the joke of carrier pigeon or 2 cans on a string, or someone said message in a bottle, or however we can get to you. But we look forward to the performance at the Kravis Center when the world makes a change and things reach some level of normalcy, and we look forward to that. The Kravis Center is a beautiful place, as we know, where you'll perform. Arthur, if you'll put up hours. And you can text OCQ to 22828 to stay updated on us. And again, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to the performances and more to come from the Palm Beach Symphony.
I thank you so much for taking the time. Just a great pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.